Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, peeps? So in this episode, we have Alexa, who is
what?
freaking amazing. This is such a good podcast. Like, it's just a conversation, which all of these are, but I don't know why this one was so great. But in this one, we talk about The Collective, which is a community that she's starting recently. It just started back in January.
Yeah.
And then also the process of auditing your friends, because sometimes that's necessary.
Yes, that's very true. And also, we kind of dive into the challenges and obstacles of throwing an event. So let's get this podcast going and let's go. Coconut. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Roberto Guido.
And my name's Marissa Lewis.
And together we are
the Dos Cocos Locos.
And welcome to our podcast.
So our goal with this podcast is to drop as much coconut fire, which is our way of saying life/business knowledge bombs, for creatives that don't necessarily know much about life or business, through conversations with one another as well as with other fellow creatives and dope people.
Our story has a lot of twists and turns, but basically we started by selling coconuts at the beach, and now we have our own photography and videography business. And it's through these conversations that we were able to really learn how to navigate this thing called life. Enjoy. All right, so Alexa, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here. How you feeling today?
I feel so good. Guys, it's May. Whenever it's a new month, I get this surge of energy. I'm like, let's go!
Yes!
Like,
yeah. How it should be.
Yeah.
Right?
How it should be.
I woke up yesterday, I was like, May 1st, the birds are chirping.
I feel like Snow White.
Just for
It's
me.
a beautiful day.
That's awesome. But it does feel nice. So, like, the weather's not too bad and all
I still have
that.
to change the calendar.
Our life's a mess.
That rip, it hits.
Right?
Dang. So, Alexa, we always start our podcast with this question, and then we kind of just take it from there. So, in one sentence, it can be as long or as short as possible, whatever you choose.
Yes.
What is it that you do?
Oh, God.
Yes. And it's not necessarily like your occupation. It's just like life.
Of course.
Yeah.
What you
I
do.
love that. Okay. This sentence is going to have so many commas. Are you ready?
Go for it. Let's go.
So, hello. My name is Alexa. What do I do? So, first of all, I'm blessed enough that what I do as a job is what I love. I'm trying to make money off the other stuff that I love, but that's always a transition. So I am a freelance choreographer, dance teacher / musical theater teacher / content creator. And so content creator means a bunch of things to a bunch of different people. But for me, it means that I do more blogger type stuff. So what people usually associate with a fashion blogger is what I tend to do. So like shooting.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I woke up this morning. I have so many
like this.
I was like, I am gonna wear the only clean things I have left and make an outfit. It's a style challenge. But so I do that. Yeah. So that's what I do. And then I also recently founded an organization for bloggers, content creators, and influencers called The Collective, which is like my child. I love it so much. And so that's kind of what I do. And then on a deeper level, I just love people. Like I love just sitting down with people and hearing their hearts, and just hearing their dreams, because I feel like people are always trying to tell dreamers to be realistic, and that's so stupid to me.
Yeah.
Like just do what you want.
Yeah.
Just do what you want. That's your dream.
Nothing's easy though. You know, nothing's easy. And everybody thinks like, oh, if you do creative stuff, like then it's gonna be super hard. But I'm like, homie, being a lawyer's hard, being a doctor's hard. Like the pragmatic careers are just as hard. So
that's true.
Why not love it? You know? Anyway, that's what I do.
You're right.
That was more than
that was
sentence.
perfect. That's great. That was a great sentence.
Yeah.
So let's talk about The Collective.
Yes, let's.
So, why did you start that? How did it get started? When did it get started?
Right, yes. Good question. So, The Collective, I always make this joke, but it is literally true. Like, one day I was in my room, and I opened my laptop, and I just started typing. And I opened this document, and I just started typing. And I, blacked out. And I came to, and I looked at the screen, and I was like, what is this? And that was The Collective. Like, I literally had, vision statements. Like, I had, purpose statements. Like, a plan for the, however long the timeline was. I have to look back. But, yeah, so that's kind of how it started. Like, one day, one night, I just, all of a sudden just had a wave of inspiration, and I wrote all this stuff out. I feel like it's been brewing in my heart for a while, but I finally was I'm doing it. Because I'd been to blogger events or just networking events for creatives, and it just didn't click for me. I felt like there was always something missing, and it was that like authenticity part of it. Like I went to this one event, people were just judging me the whole night, and I was like, what is going on? Like what? And like you can feel that vibe from people, and I was like, this is so crazy. Like we're all so similar. Like we all are younger, like in our 20s, we're all creatives. Like why aren't we just like coming together? That's why I love this community over competition thing, because it's so important. And that's really why, like, one of the biggest reasons why I founded the collective, because I was like, especially with women, like there's this competition and it's so unnecessary. And if we all just come together, like so much more can be accomplished, but people are wasting their creative energy on hating. Why? Like, come on, y'all.
It's a waste of energy.
Yeah, it really is a waste of energy. So the collective started, I think I technically founded it in, I would say January. Like that's when I started setting meetings with people. This year. So it's only been a few months. It's been so crazy just seeing like how quickly it's taken off. And then that's really why I started it. Like especially in creative spaces, but also more specifically with women. Like I really wanted to create this atmosphere of just like support and encouragement, and show people like you're worthy of being loved, like right where you are, and like let's just chase your dreams together. Like what do you want to do? And so it's been a really cool ride. It's been so crazy. Like I've been out of my comfort zone probably every second of every day. But and honestly, like this year I've really learned like that's what it's all about. Like you have to, that's where your dreams are.
You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly. And you can't like dip your toe. That's what I was doing last year. I was like, I'll do a little bit outside my comfort zone and then jump back in. Now I'm like, look, comfort zone who? I just push myself out. I'm like, all right.
You just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Jump out of your bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
So that's that.
That's crazy. Yeah. So we know a little bit of the events that you've done because we've been like kind of following you. But for the listeners and the viewers,
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, but for the listeners and viewers, what are some events that you kind of already done so they can get like kind of like a better idea?
So we started off with a huge launch event. So we were at the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts, which was in downtown Tampa. The most gorgeous venue. I'm plugging them right now.
Yeah, plug.
Check out my girl Amy. She's the event coordinator over there. No, they're so like that venue is so dope, and it was cool because I walked through that venue and I got so inspired, and I was like, okay, this is like where it needs to be. Yeah. I was like, I don't care if I have to like, I don't know, sell all my possessions to have this job.
So I'm gonna make it happen.
But we're doing it.
I was like, oh my gosh. If I have to write Oprah a letter, I don't care. Like, it's really cool. So our launch event was just kind of like this big, the goal was just to have people come and see what we're about. And just kind of cast vision for where I see it going and what I want it to be. And so I really just wanted everyone who came to get because we're really based on social media and events. And so like before our first event, all people were going off of was social media. So I wanted people to kind of see how our social media vibe translated into real life, if that makes sense. And so the launch event was really cool. We just had a bunch of we had vendors come out. So Salvage and Chic, which you guys know, she's amazing. She came out and she had her whole setup and was selling vintage clothes. And then my girl Destiny, who runs the Destiny collection, was selling her handmade clay earrings. And so we had that, and then we also were selling prints that we took like leading up to the launch, because I wanted it to kind of fit that photo vibe since we're in the museum. And then I did kind of an inspirational talk, just talking about like what my heart is behind the collective. And then we had food, which was really good. And then, so it was mainly just like a big, like, almost like a party. Like, just come and like learn about the collective and like,
take some pictures.
Let's hang out and then take some pictures.
Let's be friends, you know.
Exactly. So it's cool. It's been crazy because I saw some girls from who I met at our launch event or doing shoots before the launch event at you guys' pop-up that you just had. Cool. And so it's so cool just seeing it come full circle because like that's what you want, you know? Like there are these two girls who I'm like, they're like best friends now and they met because of the collective. That's so it's cool. Like, oh, that gives me goosebumps. Like that's
like kind of like a little mom.
Yes.
Like,
but that's what happens when you're not like stabbing each other in the back, when you're just like, oh, let me just actually take time to know you. Like that's what happens. So that was our launch event. And then we had more of a low-key like pop-up photo shoot a few weeks after, which was really
Yes.
cool. And my girl Carice did the photos for that. She's amazing. Check her out.
She is very.
She's
I
so
follow her now on
good.
Instagram.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Good. Yeah, she's so cool. And she's
Yes.
so like humble and chill. Like, and I'm very high energy, so it's good because she
You guys
balances
balance,
me out.
Yeah. You need
Yeah.
that.
helps a
You need
lot.
that balance.
I do. I need
For
that
sure.
balance, especially in a man. So if you want it, no.
The plug. Guys, I don't know what you're doing. You're messing up. Like,
Hey,
right here.
hey. Let me
Full
stop.
package.
Full package.
So yeah, so that was our second event, and then we have some events coming up this summer. But I needed to take a break because I
Yeah.
was like, I'm also a student, and I was like, I can't
Yes.
Yeah.
fail out of college
Exactly.
because
That's a lot.
I'm pursuing my passions.
Right.
You know? So those
Yeah.
were our events that we just had, and it was really cool. Like, it was cool because I know you guys know this. Like, you put out an event and you're like, all right,
Yes.
if 2 people come, like, dope.
Then it's gonna
Yeah.
be the
I
dopest
just don't want
Yeah.
no one
ever.
to come.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. If,
And then
if
people
one
came.
person comes,
Yes.
it's gonna be lit. But like if 0
Exactly.
people come, then it's
Then
gonna
you're
be a
like,
sad
Man, that is so true.
day.
Yeah, we didn't even understand how hard it is to even throw an event. Like,
Yes.
there are so
Yeah.
many small details
Yes.
that you overlook.
never even think
I feel
about
like we
Right.
appreciate it way more now because
Yeah.
we're like, dang, now we see
Yeah.
like what everything entails.
So much goes into it, and it's only a few hours for the actual event, but
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
hours
So many-
for each
like-
minute of the
Yeah.
event. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy. So what are some
That's insane.
some obstacles that you kind of saw? Because we
Yeah.
want to see if they kind of like were similar
Yeah.
to what
Right.
we saw.
Definitely. One of my biggest obstacles, I'm a very trusting person. Like, that's always been how I've always been like that my whole life. And so with doing something as big as like starting anything,
Yeah.
really, you need other people around you. And so
Yes.
I reached out to people who like I was just friends with.
Mhm.
And that's really challenging because
That's rough.
crossing over, I've talked to you guys about this, like when we
Yes.
first
Yeah.
met, like crossing over from like friends to business
Yeah.
is so
Yeah, it's
hard.
a big bump.
It's so
a big
hard.
bump. Yeah.
Because and some friends you can do it, you
Yeah.
know, like some friends understand how to flip that switch.
Yeah.
Some friends it's more of like, oh, we're just hanging out, or some friends don't like the feeling of you being like a boss.
In
charge,
charge.
And it's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
like you're their boss, but it's just that
You
like
have to
there's
keep things
a
Someone is
organized.
deadline.
organized.
You
Yeah.
have things to get done. You have to be
Yes.
organized, like you
Yeah.
said. So that was one of my biggest challenges, I would say, is just like navigating that like terrain, because I was like I almost apologetic, especially as a woman, which feminism will always come out whenever I talk because it's just who I am. But like women are told to be apologetic about everything they do.
Yeah.
And so I always
true.
have to check myself. Like, am I apologizing for something I should be apologizing for?
Right.
Or is this
Am
how
I actually
any
sorry?
man in the
Yeah.
world runs their life? You know?
Yes,
So I would
Right.
be like, oh, hey, like, I know I gave you a deadline and it's not here yet, but like, can you like hurry up? But then I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, sorry. But I'm like, why am I apologizing?
Yeah.
You're
I'll give you a
late.
Yeah, you're late.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was
Right.
probably the biggest challenge. And then I think the other one was just like really pushing myself out of my comfort zone, because I am outgoing once I know people. But before that, I'm like, let me check you out.
Yeah,
like,
let me
I gotta
figure
feel
this
you
out.
Us
out.
too.
Yeah.
Us too.
Yeah. And so that was hard because like I was throwing an event that I would have been nervous to go to. So like
True.
I said it in my talk when at my launch event. I was like, guys, like the fact that you came out to this, like, trust me, that doesn't go unnoticed, because I know that not everyone in this room is super outgoing or extroverted.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, even I like would be coming up these elevators in this venue if this wasn't my event, like freaking
Yeah,
out,
like,
like
oh my
anxious,
god,
like,
what do I say?
hyping
Like, who do I
myself
hang
up.
Am I
out
gonna
with?
meet
Yeah.
anyone? Am I gonna make
Yeah.
a friend?
exactly.
Yes.
Or am I gonna stand like over to the
Do it
side?
or
Like,
sit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank God we have phones now, because
Right.
Yeah.
you
I'll
can
just
just
Yeah,
pull it out and
like-
be like,
pretend what you're doing. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
scroll.
Answering emails.
I'm busy. I'll talk to you in a minute. Kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a person's coming.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was definitely hard too. Just like really pushing myself to like reach out to people
Yeah.
and set meetings
Gotcha.
with people I don't know, like things like that, because you always are scared that people are gonna be like,
Yes.
bye. No.
Right.
Like,
Who are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or air your messages or your emails. Like I sent out emails that people never responded to, and now I laugh. But like when it happened, I was like, well,
What?
that's it. Pack it up.
Yeah,
The show's
that's
over.
exactly how we
Yes.
felt when we started reaching out to people like on Instagram, like DMing them.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
no one was like responding. We're like, okay,
Yes.
dang,
Yeah.
maybe we're
We
just
haven't
not
really
cool.
talked about it. So we threw a pop up
Oh, okay. I guess we can like talk about that too. I guess.
on Sunday.
Woo!
It is April 28th. So we threw a pop up on April 28th. We invited a whole bunch of
Yes.
photographers,
So
videographers,
good.
models to come out, and then we had Salvage Them Chic that you had too.
Mm-hmm.
To come out and like let us borrow her thrifted clothes, which were amazing for the models to use.
Good.
And then she also sold them as well. And we were really nervous about that. And
it was so good. I'm like sitting over here like, go ahead.
we were like right there. Like this is our first like major event that we've ever thrown.
Right.
Besides like KJ's, but that's just like come get coffee.
Right.
Like not like come like do stuff with us. So
right.
So we were just really anxious that no one was gonna show up. So like, and I don't know if I would have gone to this if I was like a new photographer.
Yeah, because it would have been
So-
like you said. Yeah, we would have definitely been intimidated, especially like pulling up and seeing all those people. Be like,
yes.
Yeah.
And like,
so,
where do I go?
Yeah.
So we didn't even think about it like that. So yeah, that is a really big deal.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's cool, and I think like honestly, it's just exciting for me to see other people getting out of their comfort zones.
Yes.
Like even at you guys' pop-up, like looking around and seeing like, who did I meet? I met a girl at the pop-up and she was saying how, I only know her Instagram name. Her name is like something about my lens.
Oh, eyes.
The eye of my lens.
The eyes. Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. Her name is Marlo.
Marlo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yikes.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
go to your IG, but I know your name.
Sorry, Marlo.
Yes.
I met Marlo, and it was so cool because she was saying how out of her comfort zone coming in that pop-up was, and how it was worth it in the end. And I just get inspired by that.
Yes.
Like, when you know that you're not the only one, like, pushing yourself, like, seeing you guys do your pop-up, like, it's just exciting, like, seeing other people get out of their comfort zone, because you're like, okay, I'm not the only one doing this. Like, we're all figuring stuff out.
Right.
Yeah, we're all human at the end of the day.
Exactly.
For sure.
And we're all going to have, like, struggles.
Exactly, girl.
On the day of. So we're like, oh my gosh.
Preach.
Yeah.
We almost didn't make it to the pop-up.
We were almost late to our own event.
To be honest, that happened to me too. So
okay.
Yeah, we were stressing out it was crazy. Our friend, like I was saying, he came from Miami.
Yeah.
Kevin, shout out. I am curious, follow him. But he literally saw the whole thing, which was crazy, because on Saturday, for some reason, it was just super busy. We had like a shoot in freaking St. Pete for a DJ, which was dope. We had like a meetup that we had to go to. And all at the same time, we were like respond to DMs, because we got like everybody at the last day was like
still asking for
all that information.
Yeah.
So we're like, dang. But he saw like he literally spent the whole day with us on Saturday, and he saw us like freak out. Like it was like 8 p.m. We got home and we were just like eating McDonald's, because we're like, we just have to eat something real quick. And then we're just like freaking out. We're like, how are we gonna get parking? How are we gonna like organize it so people don't like feel weird, and like
you
how
realize all the things you still haven't done.
Like how are we gonna? We don't even have we don't even have a check-in.
We had no check-in. Like process.
Right.
And we're like, Robert, where the heck's your iPad? Like,
so charge it.
Like
charge that. Like literally last night.
Yeah.
We're like, how do we get Excel on here?
Like everything like last minute.
Yeah. We went to Walmart at like 11 o'clock to go get mirrors and like the little cones that were blocking off the zones.
No, and it's cool because it all came together. But it really is like that behind the scenes. So I love hearing that was your experience too, because that was me. My car was like a war zone. Like I had so much stuff packed into my car. I had other people packing their cars. I'm like getting to the space, and then I'm calling the event coordinator, and she's on a different floor. I'm like, I'm at the elevator. So am I. Things like that. So it gets crazy, but then it all comes together, and you step back, and you're like,
it was totally worth it at the end.
Yeah, like you see the pictures that people start posting, and you're like,
dang.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Wow. That was something I did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's cool seeing like a thought come to life.
Yes.
For me, that was cool, because I was just sitting back and I'm like, I just saw everybody like having fun and talking to each other. I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Did you have one of those moments where you're like, wow,
I really did.
all of this.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear, because I had the same moment. Like I stepped back at our launch event and I was like, oh my gosh. What?
Right?
What? Like I remember when I was just sitting in my bed, like typing this out, and now it's real. And like people were like bought in, like they were actually excited. They weren't excited just for my benefit. Like, oh girl, this was cute. Right? They were like, no, this was really good.
Yeah, and that was something else we were worried about too. Like, are people just saying that this is good because it's good, or like, is it actually good? Or like, do they just know that we're freaking out? So they're like, it's fine, it's good.
Exactly.
Or like, So
because you're so close to it. Like that's the thing. You're so close to your events and your brand that you don't realize like the impact it's making unless you step back and you're like, let me look at this like it's not me. And then you're like, oh my gosh, wait.
You're like, well, this is actually
okay. Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool.
I love that.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody that came out to this pop-up.
Yes.
Together, dope.
Yes, thank you for
The
coming.
vibe was crazy. Like every single person that was there was so cool.
Big,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was awesome.
So
wild.
That
bravo.
was so much fun. Stay tuned for the
job,
next
guys.
one. It's coming soon.
Yes. I cannot wait to see these pictures, you guys.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Yeah.
They're already starting to pop up on Instagram and they look so
I'm so ready.
good.
I'm so ready.
Oh,
Dang. So where do you plan on taking the collective?
Ooh, I like that question. I would love to take it everywhere. Like, I really just want to see it become a movement outside of Tampa, like just spread. Because I feel like it doesn't, like, my thing is I don't want it to ever be about me. Like, it's really not about me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm as much a part of this as anyone walking up to it. I want to benefit from it as well. I've heard like pastors say that, like, I'm a part of this church too. Like, I'm a member of this church. I'm not just the pastor at the top of it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it. So I really just want to see, like, I want to see like collective conferences. Like, I want to see like
Dang,
trips where we're going to different countries and just like
Yes.
creating content,
Oh my
like
gosh.
things like
That's
that.
something to
Yeah.
Yes,
Or video
listen,
effort.
hey, we're gonna pull out a
Yes.
map after
Document
this
the
and
whole
pick a place.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there are central things that all creatives want. Like, all creatives want to experience the world. I mean, that's a generalization, but for the most part,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
everyone wants to
Get
go
out of their bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Meet new
And so
people.
things like that, I want to just do together, you
Yeah.
know? So I
That's
want
cool.
the collective to just like do things that people have always wanted to do,
Yeah.
but now you have a family to do
Yeah.
it with
Yeah.
instead of doing it by yourself.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome. You know?
So you're going global.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Dang.
want to.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that you use the word family, because I feel
Yeah.
that's literally what you're
Yes.
creating.
Thank
You're
you.
creating
That's what
memories,
I want.
and they're gonna be
Yeah.
so connected together. Like that's exactly what it's gonna be. That's dope.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I want. It's cool because like it's only just the beginning. Like I started this a few months ago, and seeing its growth already like just makes me excited for the future, because
Yeah.
it's just gonna keep growing, and I just have to remember to take care of myself while it grows.
Yes.
Because you can get so hype and like not sleep,
Yes.
not eat, because you're like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
working on this.
Yeah.
I'm in flow
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, let me not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like literally, I feel like almost everybody is struggling with that, the work-life balance.
Yes.
And we've been
Everyone that we've had on this podcast.
we've been noticing that we're like literally in every podcast, like
Really?
everybody's
Yeah.
struggling with this.
Right.
So if you're out there and if you have some tips on how to balance this crazy life,
Right.
like let us know, because we're still
Please.
we're
We're
trying to figure it
struggling
out.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know
That's
what
true.
we're doing.
I know.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, this week, I was so proud of myself because I've been trying to go to bed by 11. That's huge for
Wow.
me because
That's a
I
big
stay
deal.
up until
Yeah.
like 4
Yeah.
because I'll get excited and I'm like, ooh. And I get ideas and I get inspired,
Yes.
and then I'm researching things, and then
Yep.
I'm typing things out and like drawing things out, and I'm like, go to bed.
It's
Go
time.
to bed. So
Okay.
I've been trying to go to bed when I actually feel tired, which is like around 10, 11. But
That's
like
cool.
usually I'll just push through that first wave of tired.
And then you're
then, like,
excited.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel that often. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm good.
you're like, I'm tired,
But
it's
like
fine.
12, I'm like,
Let me just get up. Let me
Wired.
do some jumping jacks.
Yes.
I'll be fine.
Make some
yeah.
coffee.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do that. But yeah, it is really important. It's funny that you say that though, because our next big event for the collective, so we call them issues. So issue 1 was the launch. Issue
That's
2,
cool.
thank you. Issue 2 is going to be all about self-care, because
That's
it's
cool.
so important
Gotcha.
as
Yes.
creatives
Yeah.
to take care of yourselves, but like no one's out there telling you how to.
Yeah.
Right.
So you kind of just figure it out trial and error, you know? And I
Yes.
want to save people that struggle.
Yeah.
So we're going to have like breakout sessions about different topics like mental health
That's cool.
and things like that, because
That'd be
it's
very cool.
so important just to make sure that you're good.
Yeah.
And then you create out of that place instead of like creating because your life sucks.
Yes.
And sometimes your life sucks because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's not outside circumstances.
true.
It's
And it's
just
not
the-
actually
Yeah.
what's happening.
Exactly.
It's just the fact that you're not eating right or
Exactly.
exercising. and-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or sleeping, right?
Or sleeping.
And then the way
Yes.
you view the world is skewed
Yeah.
because your body is like,
It's just
can
like-
you give me
like, you
Yeah.
gotta
a
like-
vegetable?
Yes.
Just one.
Oh,
Slice of a cucumber, please.
Dude, I don't know what it was. I think it was like we ate like a strawberry. We're like, whoa, like it's a strawberry. Remember that?
Blood starts
Yeah.
coursing through your veins.
We're
You're
like,
like,
dude, because I'm like, when's the last
Oh
time I
my
had a
God.
freaking strawberry?
When was
Yeah,
that?
I think it was in Georgia.
That's so
When
funny.
we were on
Oh,
yeah,
it
we were
was
in
in
Georgia,
here.
and we're like, they had like free breakfast, and like they had strawberries. I'm like, oh my gosh.
What
We're
is
like,
this?
Yeah.
What is this red thing?
No, but it's true though. It sounds so
Yeah.
simple, but yeah, you like
Yeah.
those small
Yeah.
things you really do overlook and they add up.
Exactly.
For sure.
They really
It's
do.
true.
They really do. And I feel like, especially with mental health, like I've started checking just like the simplest stuff. Like I'm like, when I feel mentally weird, I'm like, okay, have I slept? Have I eaten? Have I
even
drank
drinking
water?
some water? Yeah.
Like, have I moved at all? And then you're like, oh, okay. Once you do those things, you
Yeah.
feel so much better. And you're like, oh, that's all I needed
That's
That's a
to
good
do.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
That's
need to
true.
do that sometimes. Sometimes I get in a funk because, like, we're at this table.
A lot.
Often.
You live here.
Yeah.
We live
It's our
at this
house.
table. Like, right where you're sitting, that's my spot. Like, I don't move from that spot. We don't move from
Yeah.
this spot
Right.
for, like, hours on end some days.
Yeah.
And, like, because it's not just all, like, photos. It's, like, editing.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
God.
photos, like the
And
fun
then-
side's like 5%, and then like the actual work is like
Is so
95%.
Right. And it's all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So nobody knows.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows that
Yeah.
that's where I sit most days.
Yeah.
For hours.
Right here.
Sure.
So I definitely need to do that whole check. Like,
Yeah. Even just the
Water
water.
is like-
I think water is like a big deal for us.
Huge.
Yeah.
Because like we will go to a shoot, we're like, oh, we're running late. We don't have time to like just get a cup of water.
to
Yeah.
drink
So
something
we're
and
like
wake
going,
up.
we do a whole
Yeah.
shoot. We come back, we're like, oh my gosh, we get headaches.
Yes.
Or,
like, we're
Because,
feeling
like,
really
you gotta
bad.
be calm when you're on it. Oh.
That's a
That's so long.
Speaking
of water.
Yeah.
drink me.
Here's some. But
We're almost
Yeah.
just dropped the water for the listeners there.
oh yeah, true. For the Spotify, iTunes, Breaker,
Yes.
everything else. What was I saying? Oh, but you gotta be on for photo shoots. So like
Yeah.
you're on, you're animated, you're moving around, like
Yeah.
you're walking, you're sweating because it's hot.
Hello.
Yeah, and then you're not
Florida.
thinking about water
At all.
or anything. really.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
true.
important. It's so funny because like one of the notes I got from one of the girls on my team after our launch event was water, and I was like, "You right? We didn't have water at the launch. Like you just
You're
forget.
right.
You
Yeah.
forget. I'm like,
Yeah.
we had mocktails though.
Yeah.
Like,
Like that's a little bit of hydration there.
Yeah.
There's water up in there
Yeah.
Somewhere. The ice.
Yes.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's super important, and I feel like it's as creatives, it's so easy to choose one or the other, and you
Yeah.
always end up choosing your art because you're
Yes.
like, I'm good, whatever.
Right, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
And those decisions build up.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you're like, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't want, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do issue 2 about just self-care
That's
because
cool.
I don't want people to have that breaking point
Yeah.
Yeah.
before they realize,
Right.
like, let me take care of
Like
myself.
you should not get to a wall before.
Right. Because then you hit that wall and then you're not creating because now you're finally forced to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And then
And step back.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to
Damn.
kind of
Yeah.
bring that to people's attention.
Dang,
You know?
That's
that
cool.
was,
So I'm excited. Come to issue 2.
What
For
is
real.
issue 2?
thanks.
Issue 2 is June 1st.
June
June
1st.
June
Oh,
1st.
it's right around the
That's
corner.
soon.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
next
soon.
month,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
This week I had a come to Jesus moment. I was like, oh, that's next month.
yeah,
Oh, good.
that's
Love
how it
that.
is. Yeah,
I
those come to
love that.
Jesus moments.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. But I feel like the month before an event is like where you like
Yeah.
grind. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, I got this.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe I'm just telling myself that to
No,
feel
yeah.
better.
Our
I don't
problem,
know.
we
We
put out
had-
the flyer on Tuesday. It was on
we
Sunday.
literally
Amazing.
planned that within a week. We're like, but we've been talking. No, but we've been
We've been
thinking
talking
about
for a
it
while.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait.
for a long time. But before we get into that,
Let's
though,
pause.
quick little pause.
Quick
We gotta
intermission.
reset the cameras, do all that fun
Yes.
stuff, and then we'll get right back to it.
Right back
Marissa?
after these commercial breaks.
Commercial break.
Yes.
This coffee's hitting.
All right, guys. So real quick, just pausing the podcast because we need to restart the cameras. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to these.
Yeah.
Really do enjoy doing this, and
For real. Appreciate
and
it.
while we're doing the podcast, we get fired up. So hopefully you guys get fired up just by listening to the conversations that we have. So in the comments or wherever you are listening to, or reach out to us, drop some hashtag coconut fire,
Yeah.
so that way we can know who the real peeps are. All right, back to the podcast.
Yes.
I liked my other clap better, but it's fine. You can't win them all. Dang.
So
Ugh.
Hey, and so what were we talking about? So like a week.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last minute
But-
like planning.
Yeah,
stuff.
but I feel like those are the best times to
Yeah.
like really
if
find.
we gave ourselves too much time, it would not have happened.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's true. And I feel like you overthink
Yeah.
when you have more time. Like, but I think I forgot which one of you said it, but something that where did that thought just go?
Happens.
Oh my gosh, what was I about to say?
Daily life of a creative. You're
Yeah.
like,
Honestly,
you're like, oh, I'm gonna.
like
you open your
27
phone,
tabs are open.
dude.
at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
You go on your phone, you're like, why am I here?
Why am I
What
here?
am
What was I gonna
Literally
do?
every
And you just
day.
put it
Yes.
away. You're
Like at least once. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. to do this. And then I'm on Instagram or Twitter. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I was supposed to send an email.
I was going to do that 20 minutes ago.
Yes.
Oh, that was what I was going to say. Something that one of you guys just said about... Oh my gosh, come on. You can do this, man. You can do this.
You're there.
You can do
You're
this.
there. You're right there.
Oh my gosh! It was something about how you guys did it last minute.
We did it on Tuesday.
Oh, it came back. But you've been thinking about it and talking about it for longer than
yes.
That's wow. I want to thank God and Jesus and my mom and God and Jesus. So, but it's true because I feel like sometimes you have like a thought, an idea,
like
a dream that's brewing,
yeah.
and then you finally do something about it later on.
Oh yeah.
But I count that time where you're brewing on it as part of the process.
I think so too.
For a while.
Literally, okay, we're gonna like literally break it down on
Okay,
how long we've been thinking about this, right?
Okay.
We were at art raffle. Ari Kai, she does these art raffles.
They're dope. Check them out.
They're dope. Ari Kai, you're dope too. You're gonna be on the podcast one day.
Yep. One day.
But so yeah, and that's actually where we saw Silva Streak for the first time.
Oh, dope.
Yes.
And we're like, that's dope. And then we saw her Instagram, and then we saw like how her photos were just like the clothes on the floor and stuff like that. And
so
literally,
literally,
and then I talked to Marissa that same day. This was back in October, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is back in October, so this is how long this idea has been brewing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Marissa, how crazy would it be if we got her to come out to an event where we supplied the photographer, she supplied the clothes, and then we got models to like supply like the modeling. So it was like a triangle in my mind. I saw a triangle.
Yeah.
Like, then everybody wins.
All Robert's idea.
Yeah, then everybody wins. And I'm like, Marissa, that'd be so dope. She's like, wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
then,
smart.
Yeah, and then literally a time went by, and then we got busy and stuff like that. I'm like, Marissa, we should totally do this. She's like, oh yes.
I was like, yeah, let me
and
reach
then
out.
and then I'm like, and then literally,
it gets me so, I get so anxious.
and then from
from
February, I started, and then I'm like, you know what, Marissa, I'm just gonna start reaching out to other people because like, we need to try to do this, and then. Literally, there was a point where, like, at the beginning of April, I'm like, Marissa, you need to reach out to Sap. You need to reach out to Sap. You need to reach out to Sap. Like, every other day, I was telling her she just wasn't doing it. I'm like, I can't reach out because it would be weird.
Yeah.
But you need to, like, reach out because, like, you actually talked to her. And then it was at an event where Sap was there.
Okay.
And then we're like, all right, we're both just going to walk up to her.
She was literally at another art raffle.
She was at another art raffle.
But, like, not even meeting. She just came.
Oh,
and
dang.
We didn't see her until, like, almost the end. And Robert's like, hey, she's over there. Go talk to her. And I was like,
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Sometimes it's hard working with a partner sometimes because you gotta really push them sometimes.
Yeah.
And then
and
she didn't talk to her again. We're like, no, this is not gonna happen.
Yes.
And then she went to another event that same day that we happened to go to.
DJ Donya's.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, Marissa, this is a sign. I literally just grabbed Marissa. I'm like, pushed her.
You're like,
I'm like, we're both gonna talk to her real quick. And this was the Friday, so this was the Friday previous to the Sunday, like the week before, a week before.
Yeah.
And we told her, we're like, yo, are you down to do this crazy idea? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And we're like,
so
wow, it was that easy. You just have to ask.
But it was literally, but let me just say, it was perfect timing because she had just quit her job
That
too.
is true. So
Like,
everything does happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
and so
does
she's
happen.
like, yes, this is exactly what I needed right now. Like,
Yeah.
this is great marketing. We need
That's
a ton
true.
of photos. Like, it was literally perfect timing.
That reminds me. It's so full circle, like everything's connected. I don't know if I'm putting Sap's business out there. I don't think I am. But she messaged me after issue 1, after hearing my talk, and was like, hey, like, I just want to let you know that I was so inspired at your event. Like, with what you were saying in your talk, that I'm going to go on vacation when I come back. I'm putting in my 2 weeks because I want to do
that is
this
awesome.
full-time. I want to be a full-time creative.
Yes.
And I was so humbled by that because I'm like, who am I?
The connection.
Yeah. And so it's so cool because then, like, just the domino effect. Like, I met you guys, then you guys reached out to her. I didn't talk to them about her. Like, we didn't know each other. Knew her. And then just seeing how, like, she
I didn't
had
know she was
that
at your event.
free time. To now do your thing. And it's cool too, watching her story inspires me because I'm like, when you step out, like, she quit her job, she didn't have a bunch of stuff lined up with her creative stuff, and then, like, those opportunities came. Like, you guys reached out to her, she's been doing other stuff, so it's so cool. Like, once you're like, you know what, I'm gonna really
fully
do this.
into your dream,
like it works out.
Yeah, the universe is weird. It just, like, gives you and pushes you in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's gonna challenge you, but at the same time, it's like. Like, make sure.
Exactly.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's so cool.
Wow.
It's such a small world. Like,
it really is.
It's so cool. And I feel like that whole saying "real, recognize real," like, you guys have such a similar vibe to, like, everything I'm about.
We're on the same wavelength.
It really are.
Yeah. Like, you guys are talking. I'm like,
I was thinking
You
that.
read in my brain.
Like, what?
Like, did you read my journal? I'm confused.
Yes,
So
we did.
it's so cool, right? They did. But it's cool because that, like, people are attracted to similar,
Yes.
like, vibes to themselves. And so, like, even at your pop-up, again, like, they didn't pay me to plug this. I'm just so hyped that it was just
Here's
so
$5.
good. But, like, there's so many people, and their vibes were so similar to
Yes.
you guys. They were similar to me, like, similar to each other. But it's just because people are attracted to each other's, like, energy that's similar to themselves.
Yeah.
And then you also know when you meet someone and their vibe is not the vibe that you're about, and you're like, oh, you can stay over there, baby girl, or baby boy.
Yeah, we'll still be nice. We'll still be nice.
Love you, but I'm
but-
gonna love you from a distance.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah,
Right
because you got to protect your energy too. 'Cause
Exactly.
It's super
You really
important.
do.
It's super
you
important.
really freaking do. Protect your peace. That has been like one of my like
Protect
I like
your
that.
peace.
all year.
Dang.
Because
We're gonna make a
it's
graphic
so
out of that.
important.
We're gonna make a
Yes,
graphic out of
please
that.
do. Hey, protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
Protect your
Trademark
peace.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's so important. It's so funny because I filmed an assumptions video yesterday. So I had people send in like assumptions they've had of me or have of me. So interesting. Ask people what they've assumed of you. You're gonna learn a lot. You're like, oh,
we're gonna
You
do
should
that.
do
Yeah,
that.
do it.
That'd be cool.
please do it.
actually.
It's so cool. Everyone was really nice, thank God, because I'm really sensitive. So I was like,
You're like,
someone's gonna be like, I assume. But they were all nice. But one of the assumptions that I got was that I cut people off easily, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. But the thing is, like, I have to protect my peace. And so it's this thing of like, okay, is this relationship, is this friendship, like, is it serving me anymore?
Yeah.
And people, I think, they look at that and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you just stopped talking to so-and-so. But it's like, no, like, I realized
There's,
some
like,
things and I had to
reason.
pull back, you
Yeah.
know? And it doesn't mean you don't love someone anymore. Like, I still love everybody who I've, quote unquote, cut off. It's not that, like, if they reach out to me, I'm not going to ignore them. But also, like, I realized some things
You're not,
about
like,
the nature
different
of
paths.
the friendship.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not going out of your way.
Exactly.
To be like,
that's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Especially when you are trying to pursue big things, because I feel like you have to strip dead weight. Like, you cannot
you gotta
carry that.
focus. Yes.
Yeah. cannot carry that.
Every minute matters. Like your time is
Exactly.
super important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. It's
yeah.
so true. I met with a friend and it was a meeting about like, we were going to collab on a project, and she was saying time is money. And I don't know, I've heard that my whole life, but the way she said it that day, I was like, you're right.
Yes.
Like, it literally is
Yeah.
money. She said it's more valuable than money, which is
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at, like, okay, what am I dedicating my time to? Who am I dedicating my time to? And really just pay attention to how you feel when you leave someone's space.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
if I was just around this person for 2 hours, do I leave heavier or do I leave inspired and, like,
Full.
jacked up about
Yeah.
life and full? Yeah, I love
Yes.
that.
Dang.
And so I really just had to, like, separate people into two categories. I had, like, a come to Jesus moment, for lack of a better term. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because I was surrounding myself with people who were not helping me get to where I was trying to go.
Yes.
And then I was wondering why I wasn't getting where I was trying to go.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, sis, we're going to have to change this.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's like
That's so perfect though. Yeah.
What were you guys? I was gonna wait for you.
Don't move. She's sucking.
What I was gonna say is this. Yes.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say it's like you're auditing your tribe in a way.
Yeah,
and
wow,
that's necessary.
good.
That's
Yeah,
necessary.
That's very
It is.
important.
And I
And you
think
have to
people
check-
take it the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah,
though.
it's not like
It
we're
is-
saying we're better than you or anything like that. It's just
No.
like for us, for what we're trying to do, we just can't afford to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the perfect way of putting it.
Yeah.
And it's really not personal. And when I realized that, it shifted my whole perspective, because I was like, wait, like, if someone has to cut me off, I get it now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, it's not just one-sided.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not serving someone else's purpose, then they have the right to be like, okay, we don't need to spend as much time together.
Right.
So it goes both ways, because I feel like people think that if you have that mindset, but then they do it to you, that you're suddenly going to
be
feel
like,
some type of way.
what?
Yeah,
True.
but I get it.
Exactly.
And also, people are busy. Like,
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
has different kinds of seasons
That's
in
true.
life. But it's cool, because then when you finally set those boundaries, it makes room for people who are doing similar things or have similar trajectories.
come
And
and, like-
then you can come alongside each other and just keep
You got
pushing each
time.
other.
Yeah,
Because
that's
then you
true.
got time, you got space, you got energy for it.
Yes.
So
True.
it's really important. And it, like, once because I think I was scared to do that and then not have any friends. But I realized like I was just making room, you know?
Yeah.
And I still like, this is the biggest thing. I still love every single person, but it's just, I think you have to reevaluate how close you want to be to those people.
Like
So there are people who
levels
like
of friendships.
Yeah, exactly. There are people who I used to hang out with all the time. Where now like we're cool, but we don't need to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like talk all the time.
Right.
You can
That's
just
true.
catch up with them. Like, oh, cool. And then keep it moving.
Like, glad to do it well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you have like, I have so many things I'm trying to do.
Yes.
So many things I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And so I had to really just decide, like, what are my priorities? Like, am I going to just keep tiptoeing around people's feelings, or am I going to really just pursue my dreams?
Yes. That is it. That is it.
That's it right there.
That is it.
Right there.
Are you going to tiptoe around people's feelings or actually do what you want to do?
Exactly. And it's not, there's still love and boundaries. And I had to give myself permission to set boundaries because I was so scared to do it. And then in avoiding setting boundaries, I was getting hurt unnecessarily. Like, I could have prevented it if I had just said, like, this is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
But then I kept letting things go on too long.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
that's how it be. Read the book Boundaries.
I've heard about that book. It's good.
It'll change your life. I read Boundaries in Dating, but I flipped through Boundaries. To be completely honest, I was like, yo, this book is long and that font is tiny. And I need me a story. Like, I love reading, but that book, I was like, oh, I'm a little intimidated by you. But I read the Boundaries in Dating one, which they kind of bring in stuff from the normal Boundaries book.
That's cool.
And I was like, whoa, okay. I was like, okay, we got this.
That's cool. We got going out.
Yeah, it's a good book.
That's cool.
I have a lot of book recommendations if you guys
Ooh,
want.
us too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
we'll talk about it.
We're trying to grow the library.
Yeah, so you can see a little, little book stash there.
When people have books, I trust them. Like, if I walked in and there were no books, I would have turned
like,
I
gotta go.
Bye, guys. Suddenly, I have something to be.
Right now.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know. If you have books, you're like, all right.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
Yeah, if no books.
You care about life.
Yes.
You care about growth.
You're learning.
Yeah.
Growing.
Yes.
It's so important. I love reading. There are some books that I read that literally changed my entire perspective on life.
Yeah.
Like, where I'm like, what have I been doing?
Yes.
What have I been doing?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's really cool. I'm glad you guys read.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Pass the test.
Thanks. You tried.
Yeah.
These are all fake.
If you open it.
It's
Just a cover.
It's just covered.
Don't go too close. We'll just leave them right there. That is so funny.
Man. All right, so Alexa, we always end these podcasts with this final question.
Yes.
And it's this one, which I'm going to say right now. So what is one thing you're currently struggling with? It could be anything. And what is one thing?
We like to keep it real.
Yeah, we like to keep it real.
I love that.
Yeah, we love keeping it real because
So
like you
important.
could, like it could help someone else out, or just kind of like letting the universe know, and then maybe the universe will come and help you out.
Right.
But what is one thing that you're struggling with right now, and what is one thing that someone can do today to help Alexa?
Ooh. Okay, this is going to sound so... Whatever, I'm just going to say it.
Say it.
One thing I'm struggling with for real, and I think I've touched on this with you guys before, is just funding for the collective. Like, having a startup organization is challenging because, like, you don't really have a reputation yet.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't like, oh, I've been hearing about this brand for years. It's
Right.
more of like,
Well-
oh, I've heard about that, or like, oh, I've checked that out, or whatever. So just funding. Like, there are dreams I have for the collective that I want to do literally as soon as this summer, like in the next few months. But I'm like, how can that? Like, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Which, like, honestly, I shouldn't have that mindset, but it gets intimidating because you're
Yeah,
like,
it's scary.
you know that you can't, like, when you start a brand, you can't fund it all from your own personal revenue, like in your life from your job and stuff, because then you're broke.
Yeah.
And then all your money's gone into this passion project. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm struggling with, is just like having faith that it'll work out, but also like doing the practical things that I need to do. But it's funny because, like I said, I'm a dance teacher, and we had this, we needed like backdrop, like projections, these like crazy, like they were not super expensive, but like over $1,000 for these backdrops. And it was like days before the show, we still hadn't bought them. And my boss sent out an email and was just like, hey, like, shot in the dark, who wants to donate to this? Like, it could really take our show up a level. And he got more than the money he asked for in a few days before the show. Like, when he sent it out, I was like, that's not enough time. Like, how's he gonna get the money? Yeah. More than enough. And it was funny because I was standing by him. Someone handed him a check, like, while we were talking. And it was like, wow. The fact that, like, if you aren't scared to ask for help, if you aren't scared to say, like, here's my heart, like, this is what I want to do. I just need the money to meet this dream. Yeah. People will meet you there. Yeah. Yes. But it's just like getting out of your comfort zone to ask. So it's funny because Instagram just launched that donation sticker. And I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? What should I do? What should I say? Wow. So it's just about like, so I'm really working on just really believing that, okay, if I have this goal, if I have this dream, then everything else will come. I just have to do my part. So I'm struggling with, long story short, I'm struggling with getting the money and also just like thinking of ways to get the money and not letting the money be what stops me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn, man.
That was awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Well, you have your heart in the right place.
Thank you.
So that's awesome. Another thing that I would add.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah. Just like the universe got your back, man. That's true. Yeah. And that's perfect.
That's cool. That's something that like. Because, like, we got some big dreams, too.
Yes. Yeah.
That require some big funding.
Right.
That we do not have.
Right.
That we want to get soon.
Yeah.
To do other big things.
And we kind of had, like, a epiphany moment. Is that what they said? Epiphany?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Funny, like an aha.
Yeah. Because where are you going with this?
Go ahead.
No. Okay. Where are you going?
I don't know.
Probably the same place. Sharing a brain.
We realized this actually through, like, by doing, like, taxes for the first time ever as a business, but also just, like, personal, because, like, school doesn't teach you taxes.
Should just send it to my mom.
So my dad did my taxes. So shout out, love you.
But straight up though, like going through it and having to go through all the receipts and looking at all our finances, we I think that it really helped us because we actually did not make any money. Like we actually lost money, which was a kind of a good thing in a way, because we're like, okay. Like, because we're struggling every month, we're always struggling, like, dang, how are we going to pay rent? And we always get to, like, the last couple of days, and then we make it. And, like,
then it happens.
And then we do it again. And then
thank the Lord.
we found that we're going, like, in this cycle.
Yeah.
And we realized, like, the only reason why we're not making any more money is because we're not managing the money that we're getting right now.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah. And, like, dang. And then that really hit us hard because we're like, snap. All we got to do is snap. I was going to say. No, but that like, was, like, an eye-opening event because we're like, we just really need to like figure out one how to do tithing because like we need to do 10% of everything we make because like this money's not ours. It's all from God. Yeah. But also we need to like know how to work with the 90%.
Yeah.
To double it, triple it, and continue to grow that. Yeah. Yeah. So that
hit us hard.
Yeah, that hit us hard.
This month, like taxes was what 15 days ago.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah. It was stressful, but like going through all the receipts and all that stuff, it was like cool.
It was a slap in the face.
Yeah, because we got to see the memories. Like, oh, remember when we did that? We did that. Yeah. But it was also slap in the face. We're like, dang, we spent this much on McDonald's. Like, what? Like all this stuff. Like, or like, why did we buy this? And like we're like, okay, like we could cut expenses here. Like, oh, we can invest more in this stuff.
So that accountability really helps.
Yeah, that really helps. So
that's so
good. Just keeping track of like where your money goes.
Yeah,
that really helps a lot too.
That's so good. And I think too, a big thing for me is not being afraid to ask for money. Yeah. Like with the collective, I've already found myself like trying to keep things free. Yeah. That shouldn't be free, and no one would expect it to be free. Right. Yeah. Like I have a shoot that I'm planning that we're gonna order custom stuff for the girls to wear. Wow. That's cool. So I'm like, hey, so I think it's gonna be like $20 each. Like, is that fine? Yes. And every girl I asked was like, yes, of course. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, it's fine. Like really? So not being afraid to charge what you need. Yes. Not even what you're worth, but just what you need to get the job done. Yeah. You know? Because I'm not trying to make money off of it, but I still felt bad. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, but no one's expecting it to be free anyway. So why was I trying to make it free? Yes. So it's things like that that I'm learning.
Same. Yeah. It is so weird how like
we're just
like right here.
Guys, this is creepy. It creeps me out. But in a good way. Yeah. I'm like,
it's like wow.
And we literally met Alexa like what a month ago? Like a month
probably
ago?
Like, we have
a month and a half ago. It's on Instagram when we first met. But
maybe a month. I think
and it feels like we like known each other for like so long now. It's weird.
It might have even been less than a month ago because I remember telling you guys I had a show coming up in like I think I said like 2 weeks or something. And the show was the day before. Wait, when was issue 1? March 23rd.
It was right
after.
No, it was right after.
Wow, so like a month.
Wow, it has you like
a little less than a month. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, and we're here right here.
This is just the start, you guys.
Yes.
I want to end on this because it's so important, and I feel like we're already heading in that direction.
Yes.
Getting around people who inspire you is literally everything. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys hype me up so much. Like, I'm gonna leave here and like climb a mountain. I don't know what. I'm gonna like go and like, I don't know, do something, run a marathon. I don't run, but like,
that's full all the way to the top.
I don't know what they put in this, but no,
it's the Coco sauce.
We're gonna make our own creamer soon.
Yes.
Coconut
creamer.
So good. But yeah, it's so important. Just being around people who support your dreams
really,
and don't look at them like they're crazy.
Yes.
Because you're already doubting if it's even possible. So getting around people who are like, you got it. Like, that's gonna happen. You got it is so important. So I'm grateful for you guys. You're the best.
We're grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, for real.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
This is so dope.
Here, just went on my face.
All right, Alexa, any last words? That was so dope.
Last words.
Plug it up, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Follow the collective at The Collective Is. What else? Support local artists, please. We are all out here trying our best.
Trying to change the world.
Please support. Like, especially things that you don't need to buy from big businesses. Go to a local person. Like, why are you going to Walmart for apples when you can go down the street to
the farmer's market,
Uncle Sam's?
Apple
stand. So support local artists and be nice to women, because we literally do everything and you don't even realize how much women run everything. And behind every dude is probably a woman doing his job 10 times better. No, I'm
no, you're 100% right. 100% right.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Damn. Also, June 1st.
June 1st is issue 2. Oh, follow me too at Alexa Marie Roberts on Instagram.
It's been on that podcast entire time.
And then you'll see all that stuff. I post all about the collective on the collective and on my stuff, so you can get more information. But definitely come out to all of our events, and we have some big announcements coming soon. I almost slipped and said one of them, but I won't. So stay tuned.
Schools. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you once again, Alexa. This is dope. Make sure to rate, like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. And
this podcast, do it.
Yes. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace. That's a wrap.
So good.
Before we end this podcast, I just want to give a huge shout out to EV47. He's the one that made the beat for the beginning and end of this podcast. So you should definitely check him out because he's dope. And yeah, peace.
Yes.